Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for December 28th, 2011. It is 6:28 a.m. and it's pretty windy out there. Winds range anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour with gusts up to 40 miles per hour as a new polar and Arctic air mass builds into the New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. We can see a cold front is clearly over the region with temperatures in the mid to upper 40s along the coast and temperatures falling into the upper 30s over eastern Pennsylvania and as cold as the upper 20s to lower 30s over central and western Pennsylvania. This cold air over central and western Pennsylvania will be moving into the northern Mid-Atlantic for today. So that means basically what we're seeing for temperatures this morning in the mid to upper 40s along the coast and upper 30s to lower 40s over the Delaware River Valley will be pretty much our highs for today, and then temperatures either level off or start to fall in the afternoon. Combine that with winds anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour with higher gusts, and we're talking about wind chills in the upper 20s to mid 30s. Clearly a much colder day than what we've been dealing with. When we take a look at the radar, you could see some precipitation, some rain and snow, primarily snow, developing over the eastern Great Lakes. This will not reach the northern Mid-Atlantic. This is what's called lake effect snow. That's what happens when cold air moves over a relatively warm body of water, in this case Lake Ontario and Lake Erie. So if you are traveling towards, let's say, Oswego, Syracuse, Buffalo, New York, those locations will experience snow for today, so beware of some travel issues. As far as central Pennsylvania, there are some snow showers moving through central Pennsylvania, but I don't expect them to reach the northern Mid-Atlantic and produce anything of significance. Could be a few stray flurries, but nothing of major consequence. For the most part, we'll be dealing with clearing skies and windy conditions for today. Now, we do have I guess you could call it almost an Arctic cold front moving through the region right now. Once this cold front moves through, temperatures will not rise any further for the rest of the day, but we will be dealing with a strong pressure gradient, which will keep windy conditions in place through at least the early evening hours. Then this high pressure system will build in and produce tranquil weather conditions tonight on through tomorrow. And then, then another cold front moves through for Friday, and another one for Saturday, and another one for Monday. So it's going to be a rather active weather pattern developing for the next couple of days. So let's take a look at the model guidance. Here we are for this evening. The low pressure system that produced heavy rain last night is pulling into the Canadian Maritimes. Notice the tightness of the pressure gradient. That's what's creating our windy conditions for today. Moving in towards tomorrow evening, high pressure will be slowly giving away as a warm front approaches. For Friday, a cold front will move through as an area of low pressure tracks from the Ohio River Valley towards the Mid-Atlantic coast. This low pressure system will produce a few scattered rain and snow showers, but will not be a major weather producer whatsoever. It will keep our temperatures back down towards normal. Friday afternoon will move back into the lower 50s before being knocked down for the weekend in the lower to mid 40s for highs for the rest of the weekend. So chilly weather conditions can be expected for Saturday and Sunday with the threat of a few of these passing cold fronts. Then a powerful Arctic cold front will move through on Monday. And this cold front and what follows behind it, this disturbance right here, will have to be watched very carefully as we move into next week. Now, one thing is for sure, behind this Arctic cold front, very cold conditions will return. I'm talking about highs in the mid-30s, not lows, highs. So clearly we're going to be dealing with a much colder air mass building into the region. The question comes as to what happens with this disturbance. Does it cut off and produce a low pressure system that's much stronger or much closer to the coast? Or do we end up with this slightly more progressive weather pattern where the trough is, it's certainly starting to cut off, but it's further east, mostly because of this disturbance right here. Now, there's a lot of volatility in the model guidance. One thing is for sure, we are definitely heading towards a much colder weather pattern. Temperatures like this support highs in the mid-30s for both Monday evening and Tuesday. And as we look at the extended forecast, just want to pull this up. You can see what happens is that this disturbance kicks this storm out. So We still have a rapidly intensifying storm, but now the European model guidance is trying to throw in this subtropical disturbance here, trying to dive into the Mississippi River Valley. Not too sure about this disturbance, something we're going to keep an eye on. And as we move forward into the forecast period, notice what's happening here. We have a deep trough developing around the Aleutians. Not buying this so much. This right here is not well supported by the ensemble model guidance. I think it produces a ridge that really is going to be shifted further to the west and really enhance this ridge rather than keep this storm out here. So let's shift this a little bit further to the west. This will allow this portion of the jet stream to drop further south. And you have our polar vortex dropping southeast towards the Canadian Maritimes and heights building over Greenland. Well, we start ending up with a far more interesting weather pattern and a far colder one. Just want to point out the ensemble model guidance has the freezing line at 850 millibars much further south, and again, it's because this storm doesn't exist. So, if we take this storm out of the equation, you end up with a trough around the Aleutians, a ridge over Canada and western United States, and a deepening trough over the eastern two-thirds of the United States with our polar vortex dropping south towards southeastern Quebec. Clearly a far more interesting weather pattern developing here. So that is the forecast discussion for today. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino, and you can always follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Facebook and Twitter. Have an excellent day. Stay safe out there.